There are no failures, only heartbreak. These are the words of the late, great Unitarian Universalist minister and professional clown, Reverend Kay Jorgensen. I am so excited to tell you about Reverend Kay Jorgensen because her ministry uprooted and subverted the binary framework of failure versus success. Along with her co-founder, Franciscan nun Carmen Barsuti, Kay founded an organization out of a project of the UU Society of San Francisco called the Faithful Fools. I hope you'll go to their website. They have the best website. What do you get when you meet a Unitarian Universalist and a Franciscan meet? Why? A fool, of course. That's what it says on their website. They do a ministry in the streets of the Tenderloin district of San Francisco, a part of the city largely populated by homeless people, people hanging out, often using drugs. The Faithful Fools slogan, "We discover on the streets our common humanity." Their mission, "We seek to build relationships of mutual respect and trust among those who might not otherwise meet. We engage with one another intentionally and with humor, knowing that our humanity is a great gift and a challenge too. We participate in shattering myths about those living in poverty, seeing the light, courage, intelligence, strength, and creativity of the people we encounter. The Faithful Fools do advocacy work, education, and reflective praxis with non-homeless people who work with the homeless people, and they facilitate partnerships and deep relationships with volunteers and with people on the streets. Kay had been working previously as a community minister at the Unitarian Universalist Society in San Francisco. Her life had become dedicated to connecting the Tenderloin, which is just a 10-minute walk down the hill, to the church. In 1997, Kay's friend Reza Leah Landman also happened to be Carmen's spiritual teacher, the other co-founder. Kay lovingly described Reza as a Jewish Sufi mystic therapist. She was also a teller of teaching tales. Kay's response to Reza Leah's invitation to meet Carmen was hesitation. She didn't really want to meet one more nice person with a romantic vision of working with homeless people. The romance usually didn't last, in Kay's experience. The harsh reality of the streets would sink in, and the injustice of it all became overwhelming, and then they'd leave. It had happened before. It just wasn't how she wanted to use her time or energy. But it was a generally unwise thing to ignore one of Reza Leah's recommendations. Her advice was most often exactly what you needed, and usually came right when you needed it most. So Kay called Carmen, and they began to walk the streets of the Tenderloin together, meeting people and paying attention. Day after day, they noted what they saw on their walks and what they experienced on big sheets of newsprint. And within these notes and from their daily reflections, the mission and vision of Faithful Fools grew. Soon there were street retreats, and then came the Purple Building at 234 Hyde Street. Though Reverend Kay and her clown persona, Oscar, have now passed away, she died in 2018, the Faithful Fools lives on. They own this bright purple building in the middle of the Tenderloin, near the First Unitarian Universalist Society of San Francisco, and they will have their mortgage paid off on that little purple building by 2022. Now, Kay said there are no failures, only heartache. Through her years of advocacy and partnership with people on the streets, she had seen her share of heartache. But what of that heartache? And what is your relationship to failure or to dreams you had once, but you've had to let go? We've all had them. They are with us still, echoes of a life we never lived. Our theme of this program year, this congregational program year, is dreams and visions. Collectively, as a community, we are entering a time of bold dreaming. There is a saying that a church is made up of 3 basic elements: its building, its minister, and its values. It seems like this is a good time to clarify our values, no? Before we consider who we are and who we will become, which is my favorite part of dreaming, I think we need to go on a journey together. And our journey begins looking backwards at the dreams that never came true, the heartache that follows us still. You see, if we never grieve those dreams, then they will remain with us, little weights pulling us down, little demons on our shoulders whispering to us, "There's no use in dreaming. You've already done this. You've already tried this once before, and it didn't work out." The voice begins to infiltrate our psyche and make us believe we are serving a karmic debt to that failure. Your dream never took root in another time, another place. Maybe some of the features were the same as they are now. Perhaps there were similar elements to a dream that is now trying to break free and be spoken. The danger of never grieving our lost dreams is they can turn us from idealism to cynicism. And in his poem, The Cure, the poet offers wisdom for us. We think we get over things. We don't get over things. Or say, we get over the measles, but not a broken heart. We need to make that distinction. The things that become part of our experience never become less a part of our experience. How can I say it? The way to get over a life is to die. Short of that, you move with it. Let the pain be the pain, not in the hope that it will vanish, but in the faith that it will fit in. And be then not any less pain, but true to form. Because anything natural has an inherent shape and will flow towards it. And life is as natural as a leaf. That's what we're looking for. Not the end of a thing, but the shape of it. Some of you might remember last year I shared with you my personal history of multiple miscarriages. And the reason I don't share this story, this part of my life, widely and readily is because of the number one response I receive when I tell people I have had 5 miscarriages. Here's the response. "Oh, but now you have 2 healthy little boys. Thank God for that." And of course, that is true, though it very nearly was not true. But even if I had 10 kids now, my years of infertility and struggle and heartbreak and doctor's visits and existential panic would still be a part of my life story. I thought I would be a younger mother. I thought I would have 1 baby at a time. I thought I would be raising kids in New York City. I thought I would have a natural childbirth, like every single other person in my family. One by one, those dreams were closed off to me. By focusing on the eventual way those dreams shifted and fell apart does not mean I am not grateful for my new reality. But the loss of the dream is still with me, and it always will be. I have grieved and mourned that loss, readjusting to a life that was different than the one I had imagined. And a result of my mourning, I feel bolder now. I feel less tied down to the sense of failure I experienced in the early part of my motherhood story. Heck, I still have dreams for how I'd like to raise these kids and the people I hope they will become. I am counterculturally ambitious about how I want to raise 2 white boys in America, believe me. But just like the loss of my earlier dreams of having babies at the same time as all my friends, having babies at the same time as my sisters, I know I will have to let some of those dreams go. Give them up. Give them up to God, as they say. Give them up to the universe. Our society's sense of success and failure is ancient, as we saw in that little video clip. Okay, I'm glad we had the little video clip. Rooted in early Roman Greek messages of empire, that success should be determined by wealth, fame, and military victory. These largely Eurocentric influences, and we know the foundation of this nation was built on the same notions of success, war and domination, their powerful ancestors. And then on the other side of the world, in India, entered Siddhartha Gautama's central message that desire causes human suffering, that the purest response is utter dependence and releasing any personal ambitions in favor of simply existing, practicing meditation, lightness, receiving alms. The faithful fool's work is influenced by Buddha's non-attachment and by Jesus' subversion of who is blessed and who is rich. The story of our national relationship to success and failure is not over now. There was a moment back in 2011 during Occupy Wall Street when a different dream took hold of us here in the United States, when people took over a park on Wall Street to collectively dream of a world where we would be valued for our contributions and not our bank accounts, where people could dream of a life more abundant than financial wealth. And I was lucky to live that dream just for a little bit. For about a month in Zuccotti Park, I would show up and I would eat some food with the other dreamers because there was always free food at Occupy Wall Street. I would lay down and rest and listen to music because there was always a comfortable place to lay down and there was always someone playing live music. I would sit and meditate amidst the maelstrom because there was often someone leading an insight meditation in one corner of the park. If I'd wanted to, I could have had a medical checkup or met with a lawyer because med students and lawyers were offering free advice in a tent on one side of the park. The dream was beautiful, and it didn't last. Greed is back now with a vengeance, which is why this is the perfect season for dreaming. Isn't that what a church community is anyway? It's the collective dream of a group of people, you, who feed each other on Wednesday nights, who grow together and celebrate each other and mourn each other. Our day-to-day attention is called towards our individual measures of success, keeping up with the pace of our dreams of families, careers, houses, travel. But this place can be the container for our dreams and the realization of more collective dreams. We can create a collective here, and we do, making beautiful art together, lifting our voices in song, creating public forums for deeper tolerance and understanding in Atlanta, tilling soil and making a garden for our community. We are nearly ready to unleash the abundance of our dreams and our new property. It's an exciting moment. And we each have dreams that have died, that make us afraid to dream again. That lurking cynicism, nipping at our heels. You return to it. There are so many dreams we have given up along our way. The loss of a dream is yet another kind of death, and your loss is just as real as anyone else's. I'm reminded of a beautiful passage by author Robert Fulghum in his book From Beginning to End, The Rituals of Our Daily Lives. He writes, "When we've changed our religious views or political convictions, a part of our past dies. When love ends, be it first mad romance of adolescence or the love that will not sustain a marriage, or the love of a failed relationship, it is the same, a death. Likewise, in the event of a miscarriage or an abortion, a possibility is dead, and there is no public or even private funeral. Sometimes only regret and nostalgia mark the passage. And the last rites are held in the solitude of one's most secret self, a service of mourning in the tabernacle of the soul. We each want to leave a legacy of success, and that is only one part of our story. Our losses, our disappointments, the roads not taken, they are a part of our story too. Beautiful part. To dream is to risk. Our experience of unrealized dreams are part of what makes risk so scary. Our cynicism lurks beneath, keeping us resistant to dreaming. But once we grieve that dream, we love it, and ritually release it lovingly, we can clear space for new dreams to take root. Elizabeth Liebert, a nun and professor of spiritual life at San Francisco Theological Seminary, offers a path towards discerning our dreams, which she thinks of as our desires. She pulls from the Awareness Examen, the central prayer practice of 15th century Spanish monk Ignatius of Loyola. Ignatius founded the Jesuit order of the priesthood, and he was profoundly concerned with obedience and alignment, how to discern if what we humans were doing on earth was in alignment with God's deepest desire for us. So I would like to take you now through a practice of getting in touch with your desires in the Ignatian sense of that word. A desire it's simple, really. We just need a way to make space for our desires, releasing judgment, shame, releasing cynicism. So I will take you through a mild version of the Awareness Examen. You have to remember that monks would do this for hours every day, so we will do it for 3 minutes. I want to invite your body into relaxed attentiveness. Get comfortable. Notice your body's state, any tension, fatigue, lightness, or energy it carries. Now, attend to your mind, its chatter, its humming, reacting, its naming, judging, and planning. Invite your body to relaxed attentiveness, and invite your mind to take a break for a few minutes. Pay gentle attention to your own breath. Dedicate this time to the holy. Ask for the light of wisdom to notice your deepest desires and to name them accurately and to respond appropriately to what you discover. When you are ready, ask yourself, in the presence of the holy, in the presence of this community, what do I want right this minute? When you recognize it, give it a name. Now breathe and ask yourself, what is underneath that desire? What is more basic? What do I want that is underneath that first desire? When you recognize what it is, give it a name. Now breathe and think, ask yourself, what is underneath that more basic desire? What is even a more basic desire under that next one? When you recognize that most basic desire, give it a name. When you come to your deepest desire, honor it as central to who you are. Finally, offer it up to the universe as an expression of who you are at this moment. Take in a big breath. Open your eyes and return to this room in this moment. Desires are powerful expressions of passion, and those passions are what move us to action. So when we know our desires, we will also be alerted to the potential for our most powerful actions, for good or for ill. When we are attuned to our desires, we notice when they conflict, sending us into an inner struggle, draining energy from other more important issues. Not every desire is worthy of careful nurture. Which of my desires are worthy, and how can I tell the difference? For Ignatius of Loyola, this was a rigorous monastic pursuit, spending hours in prayer. And while you may not have time for that in your life, this could be a muscle you flex and learn to develop with a journal or a daily meditation on desire. But before you freely connect with desire and thereby your dreams, it is time to grieve. Let go of the dreams that never came to pass. You'll see a few tables on either side of the sanctuary here, and there's a table here as well with the chalice. And on these tables are bowls of water and slips of paper. This is dissolving paper. So at the close of the worship service, I will invite you to write down a dream that never came into being. Write it down on that paper. Place your dreams into the water. Watch the paper dissolve. Honor your dream. Love it and let it go. Clear the old dreams away and let us give each other permission and confidence to keep dreaming, to be attuned to our most basic desires. Boldly dreaming. I am inviting you to become a faithful fool. Do commit to something that seems barely logical, something that's even been tried before in a different way and it didn't work out. This is what we need now. And we are all with you, witnessing the heartache, the loss of your dream that never was, witnessing letting your dream go. And we will be here for you, ready to return again, to dream together a new congregation, a new community, a new city, a new world. May it be so.